Hello my friends, I'm Wavey and this is the second part of my Stalker Anomaly tutorial series. This is a continuation of the last video, so if you didn't see that one, you should go check it out. Lots of good info there. In this part, we'll be investigating a few other bits of the game. First, we'll look at the mutants, and I'll go over a couple tips for fighting some of the more dangerous ones. Next, I'll do a brief overview of medical supplies and drugs. Then, I'll talk about the food and drinks. And last, we'll investigate the crafting and repair system. So, let's get right into it. The first section we're going to talk about is mutants, and it's better if I show you, rather than me just talking about it, but I will just go through them really quick here. If you want to take a pause and read any of this for any of them, I have all of the stuff unlocked. You have your blind dog, your bloodsucker here, your boar, the buer, the cat, the chimera, the controller, the flesh, lurker, poltergeist, pseudo-dog, pseudo-giant, psi-dog, psi-sucker, what the hell is that? Pyrogeist, and the zombie. Alright, so let me show you a couple of these things. There's the bloodsucker, so again he runs after me, then he goes invisible. He'll probably lap back around, get in my face. Alright, I actually had to run it back a second because I just spawned some mutant that was unkillable and it was beating the fuck out of me, so. So I showed you the bloodsucker. Let's spawn a buer. So you see here, he's going to attack me and he's going to remove all my stamina. But I'm on God mode so it doesn't actually affect me. You shoot him, he puts up a little force field so he can't actually get hurt there. But then he drops his hands again and you can hurt him. Chimera, and I have to be really careful here. Watch this. So he's all the way over there and boom! Comes and knocks my face off. And he can take a beating too. Best thing to do is to strafe. Never let them get a lot of distance between you. When they square up, when they face you, just move to the side so that they don't actually get you with that. All these boars came back, you bastards. This is actually something that didn't show up in the thing. This is a fracture. It's like a zombie, but he has long arms and I guess he grabs you, kind of. Oh, punk. They're just like zombies. Just shoot him in the face. Okay. Good lord. So this is a pseudo-giant. See here, they're kind of scary. They're big as hell. It's easy to actually get away from them. You just have to run. Be careful about that attack. When they go to slam, that's when they sort of will just like knock out all your stamina, they'll knock out everything. I jump when he does that, but you just have to be a certain distance away from them. That guy was actually really weak. Here I'll go and spawn a controller. Now bear with me for a second. Screen turns yellow, he can slap you, but his main attack is the psi attack. So you hear this very high-pitched screaming. If you put an object in between you and them, they can't actually hit you. So you see here, I'm using the tree to protect myself. He can't actually hurt me. But if I don't use a tree, boom. And he sends you upside down, knocks your gun out of your hand, so on. You have to put something in between him and you so that he doesn't do that. Now that attack can also kill you really fast. You gotta be careful. But they're not that powerful. You just kill them. Lurkers are sort of like chimeras, but less so. They're just like skinnier, less powerful. They go down pretty easy. Pseudo-dogs, which look like this. They're pretty powerful, but they're not going to kill you really quick. This right here is a psi dog, so psi dogs are like pseudo-dogs, but more so. So you see here, there's actually like 4 or 5 running around. Some of them are not real. Some of them are, though. See, there was one attacking me that was right behind me. That one wasn't real, but my shotgun blast, there was a cluster, got the real one. If you just kill all of them, eventually you're going to find the one, which is the real one, and you'll actually end it. You know, I also didn't show you snorks. Which are my biggest nemesis. Damn it. That's a little snork. He like hobbles on the ground. He does a little leaping attack. Now, a leaping attack will absolutely rock you. You won't be able to move for a second, and you can get a couple more hits in. Definitely want to try strafing to the side. They'll just pretty much just miss you. Shotguns are your friend here. Shotguns are your friend for mutants, just in general. And then there's zombies. They're just like this. You just pop them in the dome. And then pop them in the dome again on the ground. That's pretty much it. Every mutant that you go up to, you can scavenge things off of them, but it depends on the knife. So for instance, I have the hunting knife right here. This can be used for anything. If you don't have certain knives, let me just take a look. So you see here, this knife right here says unsuitable for chopping thick-skinned mutants. If it doesn't say that, then it is okay. And that just means you can get stuff off, say, the pseudo-giant or lurkers. I don't know where the boars are. The boars are a thick-skinned mutant. But yeah, same concept. That about covers it for mutants. I did want to talk about medical supplies for a second here. I told you before that there were the hotkeys for medkits and stuff like this, but all of these things are a bit different and there's a lot of them in the game. So you see here you have your first aid kit, has health restoration and it removes a little bit of radiation. You have your bandage, which helps you control bleeding. Medical packages, which have a bunch of these things in it. For instance, this one has bandages, stim pack, mineral water, so on. You have more advanced medkits like the Army and Scientific medkit, which as you can see has a whole host of stuff. Stim packs, of course, other various syringe items, and then all of these drugs and whatnot. So you have anti-radiation drugs, radioprotectants, things that will help protect you against certain things, and then things that will remove certain effects. Everything's a little bit different, and I'm not going to go and explain everything. But if you're curious about some of this stuff and you want to see it right away, you can use the debug menu like I'm doing here and go to Items Medical and peruse all the medical stuff. Alright, one last thing here is food and drink. So they're in separate categories. As I told you before, you can find this stuff at the bartender. Your guide does have certain requirements for both thirst and hunger. Food will help, drink will help for the various ones. Now, most drinks, generally speaking, remove radiation. You can see here the beer removes radiation, the mineral water removes radiation, and vodka does as well. Vodka is particularly effective at removing radiation. Cigarettes will also help you. You have also energy drinks that will help give you some extra stamina if you're running low and help you carry some junk. And you have cannabis, which helps you, well, with psychic resistance. I don't know. It's a novelty. Food generally replaces your stamina bar if it gets low, so if you start to get a little hungry, your stamina is going to deplete a little bit quicker. Eating stuff will help you get back up to normal. There's a lot of food in the game, and you can see that there's a couple different symbols here. For instance, we have lurker chops, zone produce. Along with providing calories, it provides you a healthy dose of radiation. You get over here to the stewed, it has a little less radiation. And you get over here to the purified, it has no radiation, and in a lot of cases, it'll add something else. So for lurker chops, it adds stamina recovery. Up here for the bloodsucker goulash, it has stamina recovery and radiation removal. And down here, you see your raw meats. These can be cooked. So here I have a multi-fuel stove. Fuel for the multi-fuel stove, you always need something. So here you can see we have a couple recipes. This is the zone produced right here, which just requires meat. You have your stewed here, which usually requires some form of water. You can see here, this is flesh meat, requires purified water. This requires mineral water, which is the Chimera meat. Then you have your purified, which usually requires vodka. This requires this one, and the Chimera one requires this one, which apparently I don't have. That's your basics for food and drink. Now, the last thing I am going to touch on, and I will admit I barely know how to do this. I was exploring a little bit earlier, but that is the crafting and repair. So normally you can go up to your technician, you could say repair, upgrade, and you can do all this stuff here. But if you want to do it yourself, you go up to him and you say, "Can I use your vice?" You give him 1,000 rubles. He says, "I have 5 minutes." He gets the hell up on out of here. And we could go up to his workshop. Now, if you actually look at this, you can see that there are certain tools you need to be able to do certain things, along with a whole hell of a lot of other crap here. So it's kind of hard, of course, if you want to even just look at this, you have to pay 1,000 rubles. But first here you have a repair section. So that's this tab right here. You can look at this, and there are various parts in every gun that you can replace to improve its condition. This is a little bit more specific. And this, of course, requires a toolkit along with a part. There is the upgrades, which if you're trying to upgrade something, you will need the actual upgrade. It's impossible for me to be able to tell you what needs what because everything is going to be different depending on the weapon. And last is actual craftable items. So you can see here, you can craft devices like AACs, night vision, equipment like backpacks and stoves, repair toolkits, which are what you need to be able to repair some of these weapons, upgrade parts, medical items, and ammo. I guess ammo is just if you have old rounds and you use ammo parts, yeah. You also, for all this crafting stuff, you do need the recipes and whatnot. That stuff you just find around the area. You can find it on people, you can find it in stashes. That's the repairing and crafting. It is extremely complicated and it's not particularly simple to pick up. You can see here there's tons of things to upgrade with. But let me also just show you something pretty simple. So I've gone and spawned in a couple repair kits. So say for instance, I want to repair my FN2000. I can actually use this right here to just straight up repair it outright. So you see here it says old is 88, total will afterwards be 98%. And you can use other things to give you a bonus. I don't know how exactly all of that works. These little kits have certain uses too, so you see it has a compatibility for certain things, but you see here, base condition gain, not usable below condition level and repair bonus. So base condition is 10%, so it only goes up 10%, but you can add on other bonuses for another 10%, and the not usable below means that if it's under 50% condition, you can't actually use this. These are also things that you need for the workshop, so for instance, I go into here, I go to my FN2000, look, I have the required toolkit and it has 4 uses, so if I want to replace a part on it, I can do that. Now, it does say down here replacement parts can be obtained mainly through disassembling outfits and weapons. That is true, but let me just warn you, things that you're going to find out in the zone are going to be in terrible condition. I'm talking 32%, 20%, or even lower. So if you even scavenge stuff off of it, you're going to find parts that are all in the 20s, 10s, and so on. So if you're replacing a part on a gun that has a 30% condition with something that's 10%, it's irrelevant. The repairing stuff is difficult. It's not easy, but the only thing that I can suggest doing, you can trade with the mechanic to get certain toolkits, but basically just use his workshop, pay him the 1,000 rubles, and then just look at things. Look at what you need for certain things, and you can either find them, you can try to find recipes to build them, and you could try to acquire the toolkits through various means. It's not necessarily easy, and I wish I could do a better job of explaining it, but hopefully that gives you some clue into how to do that. Otherwise, I hope this will be helpful for some people. I know that Stalker can be pretty difficult to get into, and it's one of my favorite games, so really my goal of this is to give people an opportunity to experience the game and have a lot of fun, and not have to worry about all this crap. I know it can be fun to learn games, but it also can be a little bit intimidating and annoying if it's a little bit too complicated or just overall difficult. I know Stalker can be that way sometimes. But that's all I have for you on this one. Peace out. I'll catch you on the flip.